Welcome in, everybody. I'm Devon O'Day.
I'm Jim Bartoo.
And it's time for another episode of What's New at the Zoo with Jim Bartoo. We got good stuff happening. I love springtime around here.
I know, we're up at the farm today, which is always one of my favorite places. There's lots of trees up here, and it always tends to be a little bit cooler up here, a little quieter too. So, you know, if you like kind of quiet areas, the farm's really a good place to kind of be.
It's the most zen place you can come. I mean, just come up here and just kind of relax. The birds are out, and it's that time of year when the babies are being born, and we're going to talk a lot about babies. We're going to meet some zoo babies.
That's right. We got some babies coming up. That's kind of our feature today. We got some baby goats coming up a little bit later, but we also have now on exhibit our tiger cubs.
The question we get every single show from somebody, when can we see the tiger cubs? And now we can.
Now, you can see them now. Yeah, they're out on exhibit. They're out pretty much all day long. They have them out now. I know when we first had them out, they were only out for about part of the day, but they kind of graduated and starting leaving them out longer and longer. And if you want to see rambunctious animals, these are the animals to come and see. They're all over each other, tackling each other constantly. They, you know, as the day goes on, they take more and more little naps as they go. So if you wanted to get down first thing in the morning, when we open at 9 o'clock and get out and see them, they're all over the place in that exhibit.
And what's crazy about cat behavior, because I was blessed to be able to meet some of your cubs before, and I was sitting down, and you know how a cat will come up behind you and jump on your back?
Yeah.
Or that little cats, big cats, all cat behavior.
Yep.
And they all make biscuits. You know that?
That's right, yeah. Yeah, and they tend, if you watch them, that's what they tend to do, is they wait for another sibling to turn their back on them, and that's when they pounce, right? And they just jump right on them that way. So we got a boy and two girls, Bulan and Zara and Kirana are the names of the cubs that we have out.
Was that from a contest, or?
It was a contest, yeah. The keepers picked out a series of names, and then we put it out to the public to vote on. And this was the public, these are the choices that they had. And they voted with their conservation dollars. So they made contributions to tiger conservation, and these were the names that won out of that whole contest. So Bulan is the male, and then the females are Zara and Kirana. The mother's name is Anne, and you'll see her out with them. So you'll see all four of them out there on exhibit. Felix, the father, isn't with them. Tigers generally don't live together as adults. They're solitary in the wild, so you won't really see the father out there that much. He does have another yard that's kind of off exhibit that he goes out in. He's perfectly happy out there, but you won't see the father out there with the cubs at all. So we get that question a lot, is does the father ever get introduced to the cubs? And the short answer to that is no, because there is that chance that he may not like them, and we don't want anything to happen to the cubs. They are very, very important to us. They are an endangered animal, critically endangered. So adding 3 more to the planet for us has been a first of all, and we're very proud of being able to make that happen.
Isn't that beautiful? And that's the thing about our Nashville Zoo. Conservation is always first on the list for what they're trying to accomplish, and just so you know that's what's happening. A first for the zoo is the tiger cubs. Let's move on to something. I'm from the Red River Valley. That's where I'm from. The Red River hog piglets are here too.
That's right, yeah.
Baby pigs, another favorite thing for me.
4 baby piglets were born, and I think this is 3 girls and a boy. I think I got to go check my notes on that, but they are super cute. And we're making kind of preparations inside the Red River Hog exhibit so they can come out, because right now they're like this big. They're like a little sausage, and they kind of got that molding and coloration on them, and
Don't tell them
super, they're just super cute. I know.
A football. Oh,
yeah,
no, don't say that either.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
We don't want to say that either.
Kind of a pig skit. No, we don't want to. We'll think of something.
Hey, where do they, are they domestic, Red River, just like we think, Red River hog piglets?
They are not domestic. They are from Africa, actually. There's a Red River in Africa, and they're not called Red River hogs because they're from the Red River. They're called Red River hogs because they live close to the river. That's kind of their habitat, and they're red. If you look at them, they have this rust color, and they also have tassels on their ears that kind of make them ferocious. So you've seen the exhibit. You've been up to the zoo, you may
Yeah.
have seen the exhibit. They got a kind of a mane going down their back, kind of like a punk rock pig. Very cool looking hogs. So.
Well, there's something that comes up every year, and I think it's so cool, and that is the Zoo-Fari Slumber Party.
That's right. Yeah,
and it sells out every year.
That's right. Camp out at the zoo. It's at the end of May. So every year we have 2 of these. We usually have one in May, and then we have another one again in September. They almost always sell out. If you're into camping and you want your kids to get into camping and it's kind of new, this is really kind of a good start because it's right here in town. You camp in our festival field area. There's a ton of activities that you can do at night, and you bring out your tent and you camp out here at the zoo, and there's all kinds of great stuff that you can do. So if you're interested in camping out at the zoo, it's coming up at the end of May. Check our website and you can sign up and register there.
And it's what I love is, like, you know, the kids who want to go camping, but they make it as far as the backyard. This is like a step past that, because
That's right.
when you wake up, you hear the gibbons and you hear all the sounds of the zoo waking up in the morning.
Yep.
And that's when feeding time happens. So it's really a lot going on.
Yeah. It's a lot of cool stuff. And like I say, it's kind of right here in town, so you don't have to drag them all the way out to the Rockies to discover whether your kids like camping or not. You can kind of test it right here in a little more stable environment.
The NashvilleZoo.org is the website where you go and get your tickets and get your reservations early on this if you want to go, because it always sells out. And don't forget, for the adults out there, brew at the zoo. Talk about the perfect date night.
Yeah, if you like beer, this is the event that you want to be at. We have well over 50 different breweries that are out sampling all different kinds of beer all night long. You get to wander around the zoo at night. It is after hours. It's a separate ticketed event. So if you're interested in that, come on out. It's going to be June 14th, I believe. So go to the website, get your tickets now for that. We anticipate a very large crowd at this. There'll be entertainment, there'll be food trucks, and of course all the different beer that you can try all night long.
Brew at the zoo, the perfect first date.
It is a good first date. Yeah, you got it both like beer, because that's kind of what it's about. And a lot of people like to go to events that have a greater meaning behind them, right?
Yeah.
And the beauty of going to a zoo fundraiser like Brew at the Zoo is that the money that you pay, a portion of the money that you pay, goes back to the zoo's conservation efforts.
And I love it. There's always people, oh, I've got this fundraiser to go to. Oh, I've got this fundraiser. Said no one ever about Brew at the Zoo.
That's right, yeah. It is a fundraiser, but it doesn't feel like a fundraiser.
No.
You're walking around the zoo at night. There's entertainment everywhere. There's lots of areas that are lit up. You get to see animals. We bring a lot of animals up close out onto the pathway. Some of the animals you might meet a little later on in the show. So that kind of stuff you get to come out and meet and see close up. So it's a really, really cool event.
NashvilleZoo.org. Get your tickets and keep up with all the things that you can be a part of. And if you are not a member of the zoo, what are you waiting for? We tell you about that every time, because it is the most economical dollar you'll ever spend. It's fun all year long, all the special stuff. Well, speaking of special stuff, we're going to go to the farm.
Yeah.
McDonald had a farm.
That's right. And Abby's going to tell us all about the animals that are up here.
I'll give you a hint.
Coming up next.
Girls having fun?
Yeah, I'm going to key of my own pretty soon. Me too.
Good night, Kia guy.
Good night.
Buckle up, Dad.
Are we there yet?
At Kia of Murfreesboro, we're here whether you're ready or not.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2024 season. Spend your nights and weekends at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, throwback deals, live music, and more. Top talent will take the field at First Horizon Park against the AAA Minnesota Twins, Baltimore Orioles, Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, and more. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. We will see you in Hit City.
We are here at the historic farm here at the Nashville Zoo. What is a little bit? Tell us a little bit about this place, Jim.
This is our historic home and farm, right? And we did a segment about the historic home back in February, so if you haven't seen that, go back and look at that one. That one's a good one. In addition to the home, there's a whole farm up here, and there's lots of different animals. We built a barn up here to kind of go with the home that people can come up and take a look at it. And here to tell us all about the animals up here is Abby.
Abby Aiello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Well, I'm excited to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and that's goats. It's what we all live for, right?
Absolutely, I love them so much.
And right now, it's particularly a good time because we have baby goats, otherwise known as kids.
Kids,
right?
absolutely.
We have kids up here.
It's
not
kidding.
just like human kids, but we have goat kids up here. So tell us a little bit about the kids.
Yes, I don't have real kids, but these are my kids, and I love them so very much. So here at the Nashville Zoo, we just had 4 Nigerian dwarf goat babies born. Oh, I can hear them in the background right now.
They're very vocal usually.
Oh, so much so that some of our other goats, I can tell exactly which goat it is by their voice from afar. Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes, it is. So, but the 4 baby goats that we just had makes 9 that we've now had here at the Nashville Zoo. All Nigerian dwarf goats. This time it was to first-time mothers, so it's very exciting.
Did all the mothers take to being a mom well?
Absolutely.
They don't always, so.
No, we're very lucky here in that all our moms have just been absolutely amazing. For the first 2, so the 2 different moms had 2 each. I was here for the first birth. It was the first live birth I've ever witnessed, and it was just magical. I mean, she took over right away. So did the babies. They were standing within minutes. It was amazing.
And these are Nigerian dwarf goats, right?
Yes.
So, and those are pretty small animals in general. How big are these goats when they're born?
So I believe that they were about 2-3 pounds, and they are less than a month old. They have already, yes.
They're
They-
puppy size.
Absolutely. And they have doubled in size. So right now, I believe they're about 8 pounds.
Well, show it. Can you show us? Can you?
I definitely can. So we've had 4 born, as I said, all Winnie the Pooh names that we voted on. And we have Eeyore here with us. So we'll see how this goes.
Come on in. We're going to put Eeyore right up on the table.
It's usually chaos.
Eeyore.
Beautiful
Hi,
chaos.
Eeyore.
Oh, she wants to sit down immediately.
Yes. Yes. So
right,
this is Eeyore. He's one of our lovely boys that was just born. He is the calmest of the 4, if you believe it. They just love to jump and play, especially with each other. But we went with Eeyore because of this beautiful gray silver coat, which Mom has hints of as well.
And did he, I see there's little nubbins where his little nubbins were. Do you dehorn them?
Yes, so some goats are born without horns, but if they are, we go through a process called disbudding. It's very normal where we do halt the growth of those horns just for safety, because these boys will eventually go into our pet area, the critter encounter here at the Nashville Zoo. There we go.
They're so sweet.
Yes.
And I love how they fold up their little arms in front. That's so cute.
We have, what is it? Two boys and 2 girls? What is it?
No, it's all 4 boys.
All boys.
All boys.
Okay.
So that means we can generally keep them, eating everything, and have them go over to our critter encounter with the rest of our boys club.
Great. Okay. And then can guests come up here and hold them and pet them like this? How does this work?
So right now they're a little bit all over the place. Guests can come down and interact with them through a fence. They're with their moms at all times, but periodically us keepers, we take them out into the zoo to explore and meet guests more closely. But right now it's more about mom time, bonding, and then learning from us keepers.
So up here at the farm is where you can catch them right now if you want to get up and see them.
Yes. I'm wearing a green shirt. It looks like leaves.
Yes, it does.
Right. Eeyore thinks it's grass.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. That's just amazing. Well, if somebody wants to come, if you've been at Christmas time, this is the barn where Santa stays.
That's right. This
is the barn. So
yeah,
let you know kind of where
Santa,
where it is.
Same place.
And what other animals do they find here at the farm?
So many different species that we have here. We have sheep, a miniature horse named Stormy, who when he runs, it is just epic. We have cattle, including our milking Devons, which is a very rare, what we call heritage breeds. That means they're one of the original American breeds. They even came over on one of the next ships after the Mayflower. So they are an original American tradition.
He really wants this shirt. He really does. They are so cute. Oh my goodness. And people don't realize how affectionate goats really can be. So if you're thinking about a good pet, just know that they do make wonderful pets unless you want any kind of garden.
That's right. Yeah, check with your HOA because sometimes HOA's got issues with anything that isn't a dog or a cat.
I was talking to a dear friend and she says, I know that this is going to hit the microphone too. This is going to be a lot of fun to edit that part.
Well, we can have him.
Yeah, why don't we have him?
Yeah. So we'll have him
Let him-
go
yeah.
back to his mom.
That's right.
Bye, Eeyore.
There you go.
He was a pretty good boy
He was
considering.
really
Yeah.
good.
He didn't do too bad.
good.
He didn't do too bad.
But I will say that if you're going to consider having goats, don't forget that they will eat. There's just really not a plant that they won't. My friend Adele said, is there anything that they won't eat? She said, I've tried to put plants around the house, and if they get in the yard, they eat everything.
Yep.
Anything
And
and
in an
everything.
afternoon.
Yeah, they'll eat it quickly.
Slow it down.
Okay, so last question. What do people, if you had anything that you wanted people to know about the goats or the farm or this area in general, what would you like people to know?
Goats in general are just amazing animals. I don't think that they get enough credit. They're so easy to bond with. We're starting to teach them their names and they're just so intelligent. I have one goat in particular that I am bonded with and train, and they are just so bouncy and beautiful souls. And they also love to climb. So if we go in there and sit with the baby goats in particular, they will be up on my shoulders in seconds. It's very impressive.
All right.
You know, and if you have goats, you always make sure you have things for them to climb on and play on, you know,
They love climbing on
spools
stuff.
and dog houses and things like that. But if you put it near a fence, they'll be right over the fence because they hop everywhere.
Immediately.
All right.
Well, thank you so much, Abby, and
course.
thanks for turning us on to a place that you might not even realize. It's not just African animals here at the Nashville Zoo or South American Andes animals. We've got domestic animals too. Hey, you guys, stick around. We've got more to come at What's New at the Zoo with Jim Bartoo.
Are coming to Franklin. The Mustang Heritage Spectacular. 4 days of celebrity freestyle, liberty training, trick riding, and extreme Mustang makeover. Plus the shopping. Over 100 vendor spaces with clothing, food, home goods, and things you can't find anywhere else. All that and celebrity signings at a music stage too. June 20th through 23rd at Williamson County Ag Expo Park. Don't miss a moment with a weekend pass. MustangHeritageFoundation.org for tickets.
So Busy Bee is a very close-knit family. We fight just like every family does. We have arguments, but we always come out with a solution to the problems. We don't just fight about what we want, we fight about what customers need. We want to make sure that every customer we go to is more than satisfied. And that doesn't just start whenever we show up at their door, that starts when we show up every day at work. We want to make sure that we are serving our customers to the best of our ability.
Spring has sprung and animal babies are everywhere, and if you've been anywhere, you've probably seen some baby bees, some little Pepe Le Pews.
That's right, we're up at the farm, and anybody who runs a farm knows that you're eventually going to run into one of these guys looking for food or something to dig out. Probably even if you have any kind of property at all, they're fairly common. This is Arlie, she's with us today. Arlie?
Hi, how you guys doing today?
Tell us about this badger.
Yeah. So this is Rosemary, and she's a striped skunk.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it is about that time of year actually that baby skunks are emerging from their dens. Their breeding season is typically about February to mid-April, so they should be coming out right about now. But Rosemary is one of our ambassador skunks, so she lives behind the scenes and loves to make her special appearances for special programs and events and educational encounters around our zoo.
I'm going to make sure that Alan can see these because she's so precious.
She is.
Hi, sweetheart. Hi.
You want to go on the table, Mama?
Is she going to come up and eat out of the dish?
She
Now,
is.
she's got some interesting food here. If you notice, some of it's moving.
Yeah.
Are they mealworms?
Yes, they are. So skunks like Rosemary are omnivores, which means that they like to eat both meat and some fresh fruits and veggies. So here at the Nashville Zoo, we have a wonderful commissary department that makes such plentiful diets for our animals here. So she, her favorite part of her diet is her insects, so her mealworms, her crickets, waxworms, but she does get some sweet potatoes, some carrots, some lettuce in there, broccoli.
Some little Cheerios in there too, because everybody likes a Cheerio, you know.
For the heart.
All the babies.
Yeah, little dollop of yogurt. So she eats well. She eats better than I do, that's for sure.
Now, if somebody experiences and they see a skunk in the wild, what's your advice?
Yeah, so I think that skunks are very heavily misunderstood. Some people tend to think that skunks will just vindictively try to spray you for no reason, but that's really not the case. So if you look at those black and white stripes on her fur, they'll kind of use those as warning colors to try to warn you to stay away. Something that they can do is they'll raise their tails up, flash those black and white stripes in the wild. That's known as aposematic coloration, which is just a big fancy word for warning colors. Other examples of those warning colors can be like reds and yellows. So they'll raise their tails up, make themselves look big and scary. They can charge, they'll kind of claw at the ground. Yeah, just back away. They're able to spray about 15 feet across. So it is a pretty far reach.
Why do they wind up, in a lot of places where people live? Why are they there?
Yeah, so since they are omnivores, they are also very advantageous eaters, very opportunistic eaters. So they'll try to get their hands on whatever they can, which is why we often find them in very urban areas like our neighborhoods and backyards. They're kind of just trying to scavenge what they can that we often kind of throw away as waste.
Right. I've found in my yard that they tend to dig up grubs in the yard too. You'll see little piles of dirt and little holes.
They love to dig in they actually have very long front claws on their front feet to be able to dig. So they're really good diggers and can dig up lots of worms and bugs from the dirt.
Fantastic.
And they're not naturally mean creatures.
They're not.
Yeah. It's all defensive.
It is.
One of the friends of mine that feeds her local skunks, and she says you don't really have to worry. They're very nearsighted, so
they are.
And that's true. A lot of it's just poor eyesight, and you're very close to them before they actually see you.
Yeah, they have very poor eyesight. Unfortunately, they're more scent oriented. So we do some clicker and target training with with a few of our skunks, and oftentimes, even though the target stick is directly in front of their face, they can't see it. They kind of have to find it. So yeah, they
like
do
me in the morning before my glasses.
So is their scent really good? They smell things?
They predominantly use their sense of smell to forage for food and to also communicate with other skunks. So they do mark their territory with their oil glands, and that kind of lets other skunks know if they're ready to mate or that this is their territory.
And generally in the wild, where do they live? Do they live up in trees? Do they live down in holes?
They are terrestrial. They like to kind of hide away in little dens.
Okay.
So they'll create little, like at least for our skunks, they're very good at creating a nest where there isn't necessarily a nest. They'll like take newspaper and substrate and like blankets and kind of make like a little den in a corner and kind of just huddle and hide in there.
Gotcha. So like the forest floor,
yeah,
you would find them
exactly.
like in a den or something
And
like that.
yeah, and you know, near trees, caves, rocks, things like that.
Right.
They're very
Underneath
good.
root systems
yeah,
and stuff like that
exactly.
in the woods. When they have babies, how many are in a litter generally?
Typically 4 to 6
Wow,
kits
okay.
is the average for them. Their babies are very, very small. Their gestation is about maybe 60 days, about 2 months.
Okay.
Once the babies are born, they're born deaf, blind, completely dependent on their mother. So the mother will take care of them up until about 3 weeks after they're born. They start to kind of gain their eyesight. And then after about 6 weeks is when they start to emerge from the den and go forage with mom.
How does she carry them? I'm kind of like opossums carry them on their back, and cats carry their.
Or do they just follow?
I know that like once they're old enough to kind of come out of the den, they will follow behind mom in like a little train of skunks. If you've ever seen like a family of skunks, it's so cute. Mom's in the
Right.
front and they're just kind of trail
Single
behind
file,
her.
right.
Yeah.
Like kindergartners.
Yeah, exactly. It's really, really cute.
Well, you know, they're absolutely precious. Do they make good pets? I mean, in Tennessee, I think it's against the law to have them as a domestic pet.
Since they are a native species, it is illegal to have them as pets, largely due to the fact that they are carriers of rabies. So to my guess, I don't think it would be a very good idea to have these guys as pets just because, again, they carry rabies.
They chew a lot.
Yeah, they obviously don't smell great.
Right.
And even if you do get their scent glands removed, they still have that musk that's kind of embedded into their fur. So just by like holding
Right.
her for like 15 minutes straight, your sweater, your sleeves will start to smell a little bit like their musk. It's not going to be as potent as the actual spray, but still not a pleasant smell.
Right, so if you want a really stinky animal that chews through wires in your home and basically tears up your carpet, but is legal, get a ferret. Right, because ferrets will do that too. They kind of have that smell.
Yeah. Still very cute though.
They are very cute.
Very highly misunderstood, but awesome creatures.
All right.
We do have a listener question from Leela May. Leela May and her family live close by the zoo. They have a family membership and they come here very often, and she is 7 years old, and she says, I always see on YouTube where animals get fed with a bottle. Are there any animals we can feed with the bottle at the Nashville Zoo?
Ooh, great question.
No.
Sorry, Leela May.
Sorry.
Usually it's the babies. I feel like at the vet hospital, when the babies are being taken care of in there, like the clouded leopards, they'll do like bottle feedings at scheduled times that guests can come up and see at our awesome vet hospital. But not much are older animals.
Right, yeah, most of the bottle feeding happens behind the scenes. The keepers usually take care of that. There's gloving and masking and things like that
It's
are
a
involved.
whole process.
Yeah, there's a lot of disease concerns that we have with that. So in general, we don't have a whole lot of bottle feeding opportunities. Even our goats, who were maybe bottle fed in the beginning, have now even transitioned to solid foods. So even the baby goats are now just eating solid foods.
She goes, isn't somebody going to give me a mealworm? I just want
Broccoli.
one little mealworm.
I'm going to eat the broccoli, but not the
She
not
likes
the good
those
hard
mealworms.
stuff.
It's just like crunch, crunch, crunch.
They
It's
love
like,
them.
Oh my
hot
goodness.
dogs.
All right. Well, you guys, this is what's new at the zoo with Jim Bartoo. We have some wonderful sponsors. Kia of Murfreesboro. Thank them for jumping on right at the get-go because, you know, they love a family show. And then we've got Advertising Solutions who joined them, and they're incredible, so check them out as a company. And Busy Bee HVAC, Busy Bee, the home of the Busy Bee. And they bring you this show, and we hope that you enjoy it. Follow, subscribe, and share all of these shows on all of our Main Street Network. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
You.